Yeah, this is it right here. Sit to express grace. Separate the weaker niggas is the less weight. Fuck how y'all feel. Y'all cowards now fucking with real. I return like McGrady got love for the pill. Let's get it poppin'. I move like a nigga coppin'. I know the stress from the streets when I was kitty poppin'. Playing in the corners, face to face with the faces of mourners. It's hard to trace the informants until it's too late. Take place of my bornness, the focus is back. I play a part in this culture of rap. Once a week, so I relate on how these vultures attack. Vippin' and funnin', double pump, vippin' up summers. How many niggas hitting?
Actually, Poland has quietly been the second fastest growing economy next to China. It's also top 3 in the world for coding skills. Also, the ElevenLabs story actually started in Poland. Both of the co-founders of ElevenLabs are Polish, and the whole ElevenLabs story started here. And of course, they have some of the best suites. In this video, you will see all of the investors and ecosystem players that we will interview as well. And our 5 Degrees event, some highlights there.
I'm Pavel, and along with my co-founder Krzysztof, yes, this is Lutosław. It's one of our mobile platform humanoiders. Decide to visit us as well and give us some treat, hopefully later on, if you're going to be behaving properly.
What's happening here?
What's happening here is like a classic teleoperation gig. And what Oksana is doing here is just like folding the t-shirt. We have some new equipment that we collected here and new robotic arms that we want to test in the new setup, and that's why we're going to collect a couple of hours of just that simple folding task as everybody else to do that. What's more cool, Kobe, can you run like Dagger? And now these robotic arms are start to learn from videos like we're collecting in order to feed it in. I think you can then go into the Dagger setup. If you want. Right, cut. No, because that's a copy. Go on.
How does it work with the hands? Like they feel your motion and then they just copy it, or how does it work?
Yes, unfortunately, like these ones do not feel the touch. So like as a human, it's really weird to feel in because you don't have a tactile sensors. Okay, that's it. Oh, you're gonna actually have questions.
Maybe we have someone in the middle of us. Who is this and why is this guy in your office?
That's my favorite anecdote of the office. Just before the first hackathon, I asked one of the engineers to order the portrait of Stefan Banach, one of our favorite Polish mathematicians. And I specifically said to have a small portrait, and that's what ended up happening.
Break it down, what exactly you're building.
The classical robotics, where you have big arms that were fully scripted, and it's basically slowly being replaced by a much cheaper and fully learnable mechanism where you learn from human demonstrations or videos, just like LLMs are learning how to generate the text. And that revolution is coming right now, both from the perspective of the hardware. You see probably everywhere humanoids running around on the cool videos on Twitter, but also from learning a perspective. And at Luta, we are building exactly that software that will propel that, these advancements. We are targeting very specific industries like retail, logistics, or manufacturing, and trying to basically, with this new technology, combat challenges that previously, typically before, were not possible to solve through scripted behavior. I don't think a lot of people in Europe realize how much working hours Ceph or Shenzhen are putting in. And I think that, I wouldn't call it a culture of grinding, but the culture of loving the problem and you desperately just want to love and solve the problem is something that I think we need to embrace in Europe.
And being really obsessive about it, right?
Yes, so our culture fit is simple. Like if you're obsessed and you're thinking about real deployments, that's what we were looking for.
Yeah. And it makes so much sense why he decided to come back to Europe and specifically Poland, right? I mean, of course, his roots are Polish, but as he said, like the talent is here, and literally companies out of the US are hiring talent from here. And now we're going to meet Bartek, right? Like a crazy angel investor who invested into ElevenLabs, actually. Not just ElevenLabs, but he's not just a crazy investor, but also a founder himself. So I'm super curious, like although he has invested into such crazy companies, he's still building on his own. So yeah, super curious to meet him.
Okay, yeah. And it's here, I think the tallest building in EU. Although they have cheated a little bit with this antenna, which is like probably 40 meters.
Poland for the win. Lecimy, no? Lecimy. That's what you say, no? Lecimy? Let's go.
Lecimy.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Bartek, for having us over. What are you building here in Warsaw?
So I'm Bartek. I'm building the Thinking Company. It's an AI transformation lab. So we help especially enterprises turn their AI ambition into business through transformation of processes, especially with AI agents. And then I'm an active angel investor, still backing the founders at the Frontiers of Progress.
Why did you decide to stay in Poland? I mean, of course, you're born and raised here, but maybe...
Warsaw is an amazing place to build new companies and new products, okay? You need to find your community and you need to build there. And at the end of the day, it will not matter a lot whether that's Warsaw, Paris, London, Stockholm and whatnot. You need to find your tribe. If you have your tribe, you're gonna be building stuff in a way that fits your culture, that fits your ways of working and whatnot. You're just gonna be happier. For some people, it's going to be SF. For some people, it's going to be London. For some people, it's going to be Warsaw. You just need to find that place. But it's much better for me to build here, especially when it comes to access to talent. Like they did early on, like some agentic stuff and whatnot. Now super successful. Now they.
What would you specifically do if you were 22 again and just starting from scratch? Like, what would you do? How would you go about it?
The thing that helps a lot is being curious all the time. People tend to lose a lot of time consuming stuff, but that is just like mindless consuming. You basically connect yourself and try to drink from a fire hydrant of information. But the question is where to connect yourself to drink the amount that you want and the stuff that you really want. Okay? So I think curiosity will lead you, you will gravitate naturally to some stuff that's going to be interesting for you. And then the question is what to do next. Because you can stay there or you can just go deeper. The question is like, are you interested in exploring and going deeper? Because to be really good at something, whatever that is, you need to go deeper and not only understand how it works, why it works like that, who are the best people in the world doing that, but also what happens on the edges. Because the people who are doing the best things in the world are the ones who are at the edges of progress. They are trying to push the boundary. They are trying to question what most people think is the way of doing things right now. So if you're trying to do new stuff, interesting stuff, different stuff, you need to put yourself not only deeper, but also at the edges. The best advice there is put yourself with the people who are doing interesting things at the edges as fast as possible. And then, if you're interested in a space, in a field, in a type of work, find the most interesting people doing that type of work and say, I want to work with you. I would not pick a company. I would pick people. What I would do is put myself in a room with people who are doing the stuff that is, for me, super interesting, regardless of what the name of the company is. Because if they are doing great work, I'm gonna see what great work looks like. My bar from day one is gonna be in a very different place than in most companies, most teams, okay? For some people, it's going to be working for founders. For some people, it's going to be to become the founder of a company very early on.
Off to the dinner now, right? So we will go by Uber.
I'm already so happy, like, you know, I feel like Christmas and Easter and whatever holiday together.
Just to quickly say thank you that we all came here, and it's super nice to have everyone here, like some of the most excited founders in Warsaw, but also in Prague.
Die Wolke Mike einfach schnell und danach können wir Action machen und dann ist einfach ein One-Take.
Was ich auch gemerkt habe jetzt bei dem Hackathon, allein es im Stehen zu machen, macht schon viel dynamischer. Sitzen ist immer so ein bisschen...
This new generation, they are completely no bullshit type of people. They are aware of their skills, they are aware of their ambition, they want to build. Not sure what would be the proper English translation, but in Polish it's called like young wolves, people in their, plus minus 20 years. And they got to about 10 million within a year from the start, yeah? And they haven't done much thing before. They haven't worked at Palantir, or they haven't graduated Cambridge or any cool university. They are entrepreneurs at heart. They started doing first things at, when they were 13, 14, 15, some entrepreneurial stuff. And here they are, it's possible.
And what are these young builders, maybe even older builders doing? Are they building here in Warsaw? Are they coming back from somewhere to Warsaw? Are they building Warsaw and SF? I've heard also, or US, I've heard a lot of things. So how is it and what are the best builders doing?
I see more and more people coming back from London or San Francisco. The entire Western world, but especially because London and San Francisco were the biggest, more and more people coming back. Because they see how Warsaw, entire Polish ecosystem developed, and that this is right now a good place to be. Yes. In terms of the talent, in terms of access to people, in terms of access to capital. Right now it's not a problem to raise big Series A from Andreessens of the world being in Warsaw. Mm-hmm. It's not a problem. Mm-hmm. Back then, okay, it was a kind of a problem. Mm-hmm. I believe Warsaw is a great place to be, great place to build. So I truly encourage you to visit. And if you're looking for investors, here we are. I believe the one thing that really matters, and I want to underline it, because really I believe building a startup is the most ambitious thing you can do right now. Not going to Jane Street, of course, it would be very profitable for you. But when I discussed that lately at the Oxbridge, students from Oxford and Cambridge, I asked them, okay, what's the most ambitious thing you can do right now? And like 70-80% of them told me, yeah, we will go to Jane Street. I'm like, but why? Because you can earn a lot of money, and that's cool. Mm. But at the same time, if you think about the most ambitious thing you can do with your time and potentially change something, build something meaningful, make some impact, then building your own business, this is it. This is the most ambitious thing. Not consulting, not IB, not Jane Street. Okay, millions are cool. But building your own business and try to change the world, make impact. I would truly encourage all of you to build something of your own or to join startups to feel this experience, learn this experience, and be part of the change of the world, in the world. Yeah.
Into other experiences to be able to experience that in a whole new way.
Which brings out the...
Hi Maciek, thank you so much for doing this with us here at the ElevenLabs Summit in Warsaw. It's homecoming for ElevenLabs, right? Also kind of homecoming for you. You're still based in Poland, but you're quite actively investing with Credo Ventures in Poland. Tell us more about it and about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. One of the general partners at Credo Ventures. All we do is we back Eastern European founders all around the world, as early as it gets.
The strategy seems to work out for you very well. Credo is known for investing into UiPath and of course ElevenLabs. You were one of the partners spotting ElevenLabs quite early. What happened there? How did you spot them? And what made you think I need to invest there when maybe some others we see were not like, oh, it's obvious?
Famously 40 or 50 investors passed on 11 before we said yes. And I remember just seeing the spark in Matti's eyes. It is, again, a pretty cliche thing, but we investors, generalists, early stage investors who don't have a thesis for a product, it always comes down, very often comes down to seeing that spark in the founder's eyes, right? Very clear understanding of what it takes and why this particular company can fail. They understood, they knew the vision, the demo, that kind of didn't work, but that's awesome. That was actually the best.
The one company where every partner was
everyone loved it. Everyone said it's like a Credo deal. Polish founders, here in Poland, going after a humongous problem of AI dubbing, building a highly technically challenging product based on deep research, and answering the question that if it works, it's gonna be awesome. Like so Credo started in 2009, right? When you didn't have venture capital investors in the region. Like with the mission to bring real Silicon Valley investing, early stage investing, to this part of the world, right? And then quite quickly it turned out that the main assumptions behind Credo were true, right? Like first, the talent pool in the Central and Eastern Europe is absolutely insane. You basically have insane talent pool that is waiting to build something technical.
Like since we are in Poland right now, let's focus on Poland. Which company will be kind of like the next ElevenLabs out of Poland?
Like success breeds success, right? It's all the people working at Eleven are like they see firsthand how a rocket ship looks like from the inside, right? And that's one company. So now let's imagine we have 5 companies like that. Yeah. Sorry for not having a better answer to a specific company, but it's very difficult to put a finger. There's so much going on.
Amazing companies in your portfolio. I know a few of them. And I can imagine a few names, but of course we're not name dropping. Thank you so much, Maciek, for doing this with us. And beautiful Warsaw. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Dziękuję bardzo.
Pewnie.
Otoczenie mi podrzuca materiały źródłowe z różnych
Guys, where are we going? Where are we going?
To our venue.
Which venue?
Venue where we do our off-record session, where the best founders out of Poland pitch to the best talent in Poland.
Have we prepared everything? Are the slides there?
No.
Fuck. Are the jobs already filled out?
One thing I learned since doing 5 degrees is that founders are as last minute
as we are.
We're building the robotics workforce of the future.
Duvo AI is all about autonomous operations. And we are actually hiring.
So we're looking for, amazing engineers who can help us with scaling that to conquer that 100 billion market.
I'm Fryderyk, and this is my co-founder Jakub, and we're building Nava. 7 days ago, we moved from New York back to Warsaw because we think there's an even bigger opportunity in Europe.
My name is Fryderyk. I'm a co-founder of ElevenLabs, and I really don't want to waste your time. By the end of this talk, I want everyone to understand why you don't want to work at ElevenLabs.
So I'm Paulina, I'm the founder of Neptune AI, which was recently acquired by OpenAI. For those that don't know, it's a tool for managing and monitoring AI experiments.
And how did you like the atmosphere of the event tonight?
Honestly, I love to see that this is happening here because, generally I do agree that we have great talent locally, so I love what you guys are doing, that you're trying to connect the great founders with the technical talent.
For people who are not building and living in Warsaw, how is it to build here?
I would say generally there's a lot of reasons to build here, generally to move here. I would say I always say to everyone I meet that Warsaw is a very unappreciated kind of a city and a point on a map of Europe. The life's great here, and it's one of the reasons why you should be building here, just because you can have like a great life and a great talent density around it. And I've been occupied with Neptune for the past 8 years, so I haven't been checking out much. And today event just shows me that there is a lot of also great people that are eager to join you on that venture. So I would say, well, consider actually moving to Warsaw if you want to build great stuff, because there is a lot of talent to build.
I agree. Thanks so much. How would you describe building in Warsaw or CE in general, maybe?
I mean, look, I'd love to say that we're insiders. To be honest, I think we're very passionate about the region and we're trying to build more ties here. The reasons behind it, maybe if that feeds into your question, is mainly just, again, very deep technical talent and growing levels of ambition and examples of what success looks like. And so, of course, we're seeing this with the likes of ElevenLabs and other successful companies. And, you know, with the crowd that we've had today, I think we see this as well with very young people. They have this desire to build global from day one. And, you know, whether it's Warsaw or other ecosystems that you guys also operate in across Europe, what we're starting to see is a bit this federated network across Europe where some thick nodes are starting to emerge. I think that what stands out here, and I had the conversation just before sitting down with you, is that you've got people that are very young that are keen on building out of Poland. And I think it's a good thing to see that, you know, European builders are keen on building out of Europe with those global ambitions that we've discussed. Because at the end of the day, you have to be lucid about the fact that technology still remains very US-centric, but it doesn't mean that you can't build some really ambitious businesses out of Europe. Why go hire in SF when it's a very competitive market and you've got equally smart, if not smarter people here that are willing to put in the hours just as much? Good seeing you.
Of course, I had to come to Warsaw. It's your first event here, and it turned out amazing.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. You're the first ones to actually do it with us. So yeah, again, big thank you right now here in Warsaw.
Of course, I'll always be a supporter, and obviously our portfolio companies love working with you. So I want to continue being there. And I think what you're building is super great, because what founders really lack is having a lack of access to amazing people.
Yeah.
And it's something like our portfolio comes to us with every day. Like every day we get the request, hey, we need early hires, we need the best people out there, but we don't know them. Do you know anyone? And that's when I'm like, well, I know 5 Degrees, and they know a bunch of amazing people.
Big thank you for supporting us from day zero. Thank you.
Very happy to.
Thank you.
We have Marek here. Maybe let's start with a quick intro about you and what Duvo is doing.
We are building something we call autonomous operations for big retailers and big CPG companies that are supplying these retailers.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge? And once you unblock this, you will hit another crazy growth trajectory?
Leveraging the context we are seeing to the fullest extent that we can really say that we give you the product, these autonomous operational modules, and then they learn and they improve. But we also see that there is so much potential how to improve it. Just the complexity, you know, it's so big that we don't really see anyone that tackle it.
What did you think about now being in Warsaw and the vibe at the event? Any takeaways you have from tonight?
Unfortunately, I've never been to Warsaw before, and I think it's great city, great talent, great vibes.
Okay, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I didn't eat anything.
Me neither. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Smacznego!
Okay.
My name is Fryderyk. I come from Poland. I graduated from Oxford. I worked at Meta, and we are building an AI employee. I think post ChatGPT it became obvious that most of the computer work is going to be automated. This month we launched Victor. It now became one of the fastest growing products in the world. Victor lives where you live with your team. Yeah. So it's very difficult to distinguish Victor from the other teammates. And the only differences you see are it works more. It doesn't need to sleep, right? It's super paralyzed. It knows everything about the company day one. You don't need to do any onboarding or whatever. Yeah. It's quite magical.
That's very cool. What do you mean specifically by one of the fastest growing products in the world? Is it users?
In terms of revenue.
Oh, okay. But you probably can't tell anything, right?
No.
Okay. Hearing your background, do you think something like a Meta working there prepared you better for founding a company, or how would you think about it?
It certainly is a stamp. It gives you a certain level of credibility when you speak to investors, for example. So I would say yes, both Oxford and Meta made my profile more attractive to VCs.
But skills?
But skill-wise, I wouldn't say so.
Okay, interesting.
I certainly learned a lot, But as a founder, there's just so many things you have to do, and there's no way that you're gonna learn it in a very narrow position in a huge company, right? I think Meta was amazing. I loved my experience there. It's just not,
Understood.
It's very focused.
Understood.
And as a founder, you need to do everything.
At the event yesterday, we heard that you have a very special culture when it comes to building product or in general as a company. How would you describe it? What makes it special?
I think there's one word describing the culture, and it's winning.
That's the only thing that matters.
I think so. And just hire winners.
Okay, and how do you scout for winners?
We can find winners in various places and areas. It's quite easy to find them because they just win in whatever they do.
Okay.
So just there's usually one winner per category, or per competition, whatever. So just look for winners.
Maybe also switching from company view to ecosystem view. How is it to build in Poland and Warsaw?
I think that the most insightful thing I can say is that we would have been dead as a pre-seed startup a long time ago if we were building in the US. We would also, NSF particularly, we would also not have been able to hire the level of talent that we have hired. The people that we have here, if they were in SF, they would probably be working for the OpenAIs or Anthropics. But those are the people who would normally go there but decided to stay in Europe. And then the best option for them here is ElevenLabs. I think Europe is great, and I want to stay in Europe myself too. Statistically, let's take a group of 100 amazing engineers, right? Certainly some of them will stay in Europe rather than move to SF, to OpenAI. I would say even a majority. And so we have this talent pool available to us at a much better price than we would have in San Francisco.
Makes sense. Final question, if you were 22 again, what would you do? Would you go straight into building? Would you do Meta again? What would your journey look like today?
If I could, I would just join ElevenLabs.
Thanks so much, Fryderyk, for your time. That's cool. I love the confidence, and I definitely have to use the AI Slack coworker.
Right now, we're going to the ElevenLabs office. Unfortunately, they don't have time for a whole office tour, which we would like to do with them, but maybe we'll do one in London. So they're very excited. We are meeting Fryderyk right now, the right hand of Martin in the ElevenLabs office. And look at this crazy cars in front of the office. Crazy. So yeah, let's go in and let's meet ElevenLabs for a private talk. I think we can't film too much. And I got spoiled. That's so sweet. I love ElevenLabs.
Might sound cheesy, but it's true. I just don't want to leave, and I'm a little bit annoyed that I have to leave in 30 minutes to catch the train to Berlin. But it's only 5 hours. It's not the last time, and I think it was really, really cool. And it's with talent. You find a hidden gem, and nobody knows, and they will crush it. And I feel like with Poland, and now Warsaw, it's the same. Not a lot of people are aware how crazy this ecosystem will be, and where all the Polish talent is in London and SF and what they're actually doing, and we know it.
This event and some of the past ones, I enjoy the most the diversity of people, especially on the age axis. So you have those 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, but then we had some 30, 40-year-olds, and they get along together well because they have this same passion, same mindset, regardless of age. So that's very cool to see, because often on other events you will see very similar crowds, right?
True. I really loved it and appreciated it. So it's time for another one.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have to catch the train, guys.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's wrap it up.
Dziękujemy.
Szczęść Boże po polsku, God bless you po angielsku, Shalom po izraelsku, tak? Salam alejkum, salam alejkum po arabsku, malejkum salam i grüß Gott po niemiecku, tak?
Dziękuję.
Polska, ojczyzna moja, historia krwawa, powiewa na wietrze biało-czerwona flaga. Polska, góry i morze tworzą symfonię, od Bugu po Odrę w godle, orzeł w koronie. Polska to kraj, który...